Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video, and we are back with another plan with me for the week of the 27th of February to the 5th of March. And we are using a kit from Pink Diamond Planner Co, which is fun because I don't think I've done a plan with me using a Pink Diamond Planner Co kit before. And the foil that I'm using is matte bronze foil from Squirrel Prints Co. I felt that matte bronze was just the perfect fit for this week, so I decided to go with that, and I'm really happy with it. There is definitely other colours you could have gone for, but the like goldy colour of the like wine bottle, I guess that's wine, I don't drink alcohol so I'm not 100% sure, but I felt like that was the exact shade of matte bronze. So it just worked. And I am also watching Mellow Plans in this video. Do check out Melissa's stuff. I love her videos. I really like her plan with me's in particular. So definitely check out Melissa's stuff. So this kit was a mystery kit. I'm not subscribed to the Pink Diamond Planner Co mystery, but I picked it up after the fact because it's book themed, and I don't think this is a surprise to anybody, but reading is my other big hobby. I've read 51 books at time of filming this, and I just, if there's a book themed kit, I've got to have it. And this one is so beautiful. Darcy drew this, and there's so many characters. I love the book vibes. Like, the bookcase is stunning. And we also have things like a book of the month box, which is just really reflective of like BookTube, which I'm very big into watching BookTube content. So I just thought it was perfect. And the reason that I used this kit for this week is because I went to the work book club for the first time. So my work has had a book club for quite a while, I think like a year. But they've always read books that are what I would deem as like contemporary women's literature, or just contemporary fiction in general. But it's always been what I would consider to be a difficult read for me. And so I decided to not be part of the book club until recently. But for this one, they were reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is by Taylor Jenkins Reid and is a real like staple on BookTube. It's a book that I've wanted to read for ages. And so I thought that this was just the perfect opportunity to like force me to read it, and I could talk about it at the book club. So yeah, that was why I used this kit, because it is, I think, we're at risk of it being the only time I go to the book club. They were going to read a book that I suggested, which would have been I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, but I've already read it, so like I don't need to read it for the book club. And most of what I read I don't really think is like stuff they would want to read, and I was saying this to them at the time. I was like, I mostly read trashy romance. I don't think that that's like your kind of thing. So yeah, I didn't feel I kind of had something I could bring to the table, but also it's really hard for me to be part of kind of extracurricular stuff, I guess. I work a very busy job, so, and like this month they're back on reading the kind of stuff I don't want to read, so unfortunately. Yeah, oh no, I did one other book club though, because I read a book that my colleague was gonna read, well, like my colleague's favourite book, and I did read that, but I then didn't make it to the meeting. So yeah, unfortunately this is like the only time I have actually been to the book club. But also for this one we did like go for drinks and stuff, so I think the sort of drinky vibes of this one really work. So let's get into the day by day. So I don't typically say where the stickers are from. Most of my functional stickers are from Joy with Planning, Stick with a Plan Co, Plannerface, who I do PR for. You can use my code CAT10 to save 10% on your orders and add my name and notes to seller to pick up my freebie. Squirrel Prints Co, Coffee Monsters Co, Once More with Love are where most of them are from. But if you do want to know where any particular stickers are from, feel free to ask down below, and if I know, I'm more than happy to help. So on Monday, I marked that I had meetings all day. That's how you know I'm filling space, if I had, because meetings all day, it will have meant I very much did have meetings all day, but it means I really don't have much else to talk about. Then we were shortlisting, but that wouldn't have been for a role in my team, so it must have been for a role in my colleague's team, because I think we interviewed possibly in the following week, I think. So yeah, so I was doing some shortlisting for him. And because of that, I had to work late, because I think the shortlisting got kind of sprung on me. I love my colleague, but he is not a forward planner. And I am a forward planner to like the nth degree. And so we don't clash, like we really get on, but there's elements of like, he'll be like, can you do this like today? And I'll be like, my schedule doesn't really flex that way. So that can be like a little bit problematic, but you know, it's fine. But yeah, unfortunately it meant I had to work late. It looks like Stuart's parents were still here. I think this must have been at the weekend they'd been at the Newcastle match at Wembley. So they were still here. And so they came over. But I think Stuart went out for dinner with them, but I couldn't because I had to work late. So that kind of sucked. So yeah, I think they came back at like 9 and I was only just eating dinner. And then I wrote that I finished The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I'll talk a little bit about the book. So it's about kind of think a sort of Marilyn Monroe style. Sorry that the tripod is so wobbly in these Plan With Me's. I filmed like 4 of them in a row and I think my tripod was just on a real wobble fest. So yeah, it's about a sort of Marilyn Monroe type Hollywood actress called Evelyn Hugo, and she has had 7 husbands, and she asks somebody called Monique to write her biography. And over the course of writing it, Monique finds out sort of, which was the husband that you most loved, or, who was the one you most wanted to be with. And so it's about like Evelyn Hugo's story, but it also turns out that Evelyn and Monique are kind of connected. And so it's about that as well. It's really good, really well written. I really enjoyed it. Cool. So yeah, so I finished that on that day. Then on Tuesday, I marked that I had lunch with my colleague, Abby. I really get on with Abby, and she's kind of the one person who manages to get me out of the office, which is pretty good going, because it's something I find really difficult to do, to leave the office on time, or even just to get out for like lunch breaks and stuff. So Abby's really good at like regularly putting in lunches so that we get a bit of time to like catch up and go through stuff. So I then marked that I took toil, which is time off in lieu, from 2:30. So toil is when you've sort of worked the time previously, you get the time back. So I marked that I had a couple of hours toil, and with that I decided to go to Forbidden Planet. So Forbidden Planet is a kind of, a shop for nerds. It's like, or geeks, I guess. And it has loads of like comic books, mangas, books, like figurines, t-shirts, just, your really awesome geeky stuff. And yeah, I really like Forbidden Planet. It's somewhere that like my dad and my brother always used to go more than me, but it's really fun, I think, now that I'm into that kind of stuff. And so I took myself off to Forbidden Planet for a little bit. And there was a 3 for 2 sale on pretty much all manga. So I bought a few manga, which was really nice. I haven't read any of them, but that's so typical me. No, because one of them, I also bought Check Please, which I have read. But yeah, it was really nice to just spend a little bit of time just, hanging out, buying some books. Then I marked that when I got home, I had a bath, and I finished Like a Charm, which is a middle grade book. So like a kind of primary school book, but older primary school. I would say like year 6, year 7. And it's about a girl called Ramya who has always been really different. She doesn't fit in. She doesn't really get on with her family. After a big argument between her parents and her granddad, they move away, and she's like kind of cut off from all the rest of her family until her granddad dies, and she goes to his funeral, but her parents don't. And there is a guy there who kind of gives her a business card and says, do you want to come and find out a little bit more about your granddad and about what's going on in Edinburgh? And Ramya discovers that there is some secret stuff happening in Edinburgh, and she is part of this. And it's just a really fun fantasy story. It's really different from anything I've read. I think it's really well written for that age group. I would really sort of, encourage it for if you know any young people who are kind of like year 6, year 7 age. So that's like 10, 11. I think it's a really good book for them. I would have loved it when I was that age. So I do own the sequel, and I'll be interested to get to that at some point. Then I marked that I made a Gusto meal. The Gusto meal scripts are from Plan Face, but are not for sale, unfortunately. But yeah, I marked that I made a Gusto meal. So Gusto is a cooking subscription box, and I do always have a discount code for Gusto, link below, because I'm a real advocate of Gusto. I couldn't cook before I got with Stuart, and Gusto basically has taught me to cook in a way that didn't feel too scary, so I really like it. And then I marked that I had a YouTube binge. Then on Wednesday, I marked that I had a frustrating day. I don't remember what. I could probably guess. I would assume it was probably people annoying me, but I'm not sure 100%. But I then had a bit of toil then as well. So the 1st of March begins my sort of really busy season, and I knew that I would be working a gazillion hours for the next sort of 4 weeks. So where I could take a couple of hours, I think I was already feeling burnt out. I've done so I have these 3 busy seasons a year in my job, and I've done them, 3 times a year for 7 years. Feel my age now. They are so tiring. I work so many hours, you travel a lot, and you know, I've maxed out my energy levels for doing them a little bit. So I think I was sort of taking a couple of hours to myself to just try and make sure I didn't burn out totally. So yeah, I took 2 hours of toil, but then I filmed instead, because that's the issue with being a perfectionist and a kind of toxic productivity type personality like me. It means that unfortunately when I get time off, like today, this is a Saturday in which I know that I need to rest, and I have filmed a video, I've edited half that video, I'm filming this voiceover, I filmed another video, you know, and it's like 4 o'clock, I think. Yeah, it's 4:30 and I haven't rested. So toxic productivity sucks. Then I marked that I was watching some reading sprints, which I barely do, because reading sprints that booktubers do never really work for me in terms of timings. I'm not sure whose reading sprints these would have been. Maybe Jade's or Paige's. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I was doing some reading sprints, and while I was watching those, I was reading husband material. So reading sprints are basically when YouTubers will just do sort of Pomodoro style reading. So you read for however long they put the timer on for, and then they'll sort of chat in the breaks. So I was reading husband material, which is the sequel to boyfriend material, which was one of my favourite books of last year. Unfortunately, I did not enjoy husband material. I won't go over it again because I know I've spoken about that book a number of times, and it will be in my mid-year book freakout tag. So if you haven't heard me talk about it yet and want to, I talk about it at length in that. Then I marked that I had a YouTube binge. I've been getting a bit more back into YouTube recently. I mean, this was February and it's now June, but I was getting back into YouTube. And then I marked that I was in my feelings, which sucks, but I don't remember why, so that's good. Then on Thursday, I marked that I had some kind of work meeting, I guess, based on the icon, but I don't know what it is. I'm not writing in specific work-related stuff right now, and I will go in after I filmed all of my like end of year videos. I will go in and write them in. It's just easier than me having to do what I've been doing in previous years, where I add a load of post-it notes at the end of the year. Then I marked that we had the book club. So yeah, it was really fun because we were just talking about the book, and I thought that the book club was going to be a lot more like, oh, it's a book club, but actually we just drink wine and don't talk about the book. But we actually really did talk about the book. So I really liked that. And it's a shame that they don't really read more books that I would want to read. Then I marked that I got Nando's, because book club, we didn't finish till like 8 or 9. So I got Nando's takeaway on the way to the station. And then I ate it on the train on the way to my hotel, because I had an event on the Friday that I was staying overnight for. So I marked that I had a bath, I was reading more husband material, and then I called Stuart because we're kind of pathetic like that, and even if we're only away for one night, need to speak to each other. And then I marked that I had a nightmare. I don't ever really sleep well in new beds, even though Premier Inn beds are very comfy, but I don't ever really sleep well in new beds. So a bit unfortunate, but probably not a massive surprise. And also when I'm really like worked up, I'm a very, very vivid dreamer. And so it's probably not a surprise that if I'm stressed, it's going to be a nightmare. Then on Friday, I marked that I had a cooked breakfast. I always mark that if I'm at a hotel. It's just habit at this point. I'm not sure future Cat is going to care that I had a cooked breakfast on that day. You know, I'm not sure that's like worthy of putting there, but I do sort of always mark that I have cooked breakfast. And then I had an event, which I haven't marked because of like the specific name of it. Then I marked that it was really cold. That's hilarious to read that when I'm filming this voiceover in my conservatory, and it's not as warm today, but trust me, it's warm with the door shut. I had them open earlier, but next door are out in their garden. Totally fine, they're allowed to do that. But I speak very loudly when I'm making videos, so I was like, oh, I better shut the doors while I'm filming this, and I am so sweating. It's like 28 in the UK right now. I'm like sweating all over my Crocs. It's just so disgusting. So it's hilarious to look at this and know that it's cold. I'm pretty sure next week is the week that it snowed. Yeah, UK weather be crazy. Then I marked that I worked late because where I'd been at the event, I then needed to like crack on and get stuff done at home, which is annoying because I prefer after an event day to just come home and chill, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. Then I marked that made a gusto meal. Then watched The Apprentice, because Apprentice was on Thursday nights, but I was at the hotel, so I could have watched it, but I was probably still in the bath at 9, so I just watched it on Friday night. Then I thought I talked about the cake samples last week. Didn't I talk about the cake samples in last week's plan with me? That's bizarre, because didn't I mark cake? Yeah, cake meeting. Okay. Well, this is the week that we got the cake samples then. So yeah, I think I said it last week, but we picked the flavours for our cakes. So we are going for for our wedding cake. So we're going to have one white chocolate and raspberry layer, one lemon layer, and one salted caramel fudge chocolate layer. Should be incredible. And the cakes that we get from our cake person are so good. Then I marked that I was still reading husband material. I was not really enjoying it, and therefore it clearly took me a while. Then on Saturday, I marked that I was playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. That Disney Dreamlight Valley script is from Plan a Face, but unfortunately it is a custom for me, so you won't be able to get it. It's such a like big sticker. It's like the biggest one from Anna, because normally her scripts are not 3 lines. But yeah, I haven't played Dreamlight Valley in a little while, but I think I was on a bit of a binge at this point because I played it on the Sunday as well. Then I think we went for lunch. I don't know if it was with my family or not, but it's somewhere where they do really nice mocktails, so that's why I put that sticker there. I then wrote that we bought new bedding, and I'm actually pretty sure we didn't buy new bedding. I think we just went shopping, but I wasn't sure what we'd bought, and I thought it was the time we'd bought new bedding, but I'm pretty sure we did that earlier in the year when we saw my brother. So I don't think that is when we bought new bedding, but it's fine. I've put it there as if we bought new bedding. Then I marked that I was drinking Ribena and lemonade. I appreciate that's not really something that's worth marking, apart from the fact that Ribena and lemonade is like one of my favourite drinks. It really reminds me of my childhood. We always used to drink ribbon lem, as we called it. And so which does make me think I'd seen my brother to think about drinking Ribena and lemonade, in which case we did buy the bedding. Who knows? And yeah, like they were here for a wedding, so maybe this was when I saw my brother. But anyway, I was drinking Ribena and lemonade, and then we watched The Mandalorian. Then on Sunday, I woke up early. We went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I really like Marvel movies, but I dislike Ant-Man, the movies. I just don't think they're very good. Then we went for a Nando's because we were over at the cinema where there is a Nando's there. I then came on my period. Then I was playing more Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I was in my feelings, and that's my week. So I'm just adding a few more foil touches here and my deco along the top. Yeah, and I really like that I've gone for like the matte bronze bows. They're just really cute. It's really added to this spread, and I love the sort of sparkles of matte bronze throughout. It looks so cute. But yeah, otherwise, that is it for today's plan with me. I really hope you liked it. I do sometimes struggle with Pink Diamond Planner Co. kit formats. It's not my favourite kit formats, I've said it before, but I actually was fine with this one. I bought, I think, a big enough format that I had enough boxes, and I actually really like how it came out. Her boxes are super glittery, but I think it works. I don't think I really had to bring in too many extras from my stash, if any, so that's an absolute winner. So yeah, hopefully you like how the spread came out, and I'm just showing you here the leftovers in the kit. There were so many full boxes, so I can definitely use this in a smaller planner. And thank you on that note for the love on my kit leftover collection video. I am so bowled over by how much you love it, so thank you so much. In the description I'll have a link to my Goodreads and my Instagram if you want to check out any other content from me, as well as links to all of my favourite shops. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video post this very, very cute wiggle. Thanks everyone, bye!